Hello friends, today I'm going to show you how to balance chemical equations. So this comes under the topic stoichiometry. Let me give examples to show you how to balance the chemical equations. N2 plus H2 gives NH3. So balancing means the number of atoms at the reactant side should be equal to the number of atoms at the product side. And remember one thing, you cannot change the numbers given as subscripts here. The rule is only to add the numbers as the coefficients. Here, here, here. You can add the numbers in order to balance it, but you are not allowed to change the subscripts. So let's see, nitrogen at the reactant side, you have 2 nitrogen. Hydrogen, you have 2. At the product side, nitrogen is 1. Hydrogen is 3. Therefore, it's not balanced. Here you have 2 nitrogen, here you have only 1. Here you have 2 hydrogen, product side only 3 hydrogen. So it should be balanced. We can make it balanced by adding the numbers as the coefficients. This happens using the trial and error method. You write, if it's not okay, you erase and write it again. So since here you have here nitrogen, hydrogen. So nitrogen at the reactant side you have 2, but product side only 1. So we can put the 2 here at the right side. If I put 2 here, nitrogen became now 2. I multiplied this, so nitrogen became 2. So nitrogen is now balanced, 2 nitrogen. But hydrogen has changed now. Hydrogen has become 2 times 3. 2 times 3 it became. This number you have to multiply by this. These 2 numbers have to multiply. So it became 6. But hydrogen at the reactant side is only 2. So what we can do, we can multiply by 3 to make it 6. So we put here 3. Here it's 1. So the balanced equation is N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. This is the balanced equation. I will show you another example. KClO3 gives KCl plus O2. This case, K is 1, reactant side. Product side also K is 1. Reactant side Cl is 1. Product side also 1. Oxygen is 3 oxygen. Product side only 2 oxygen. So in this case, potassium is balanced, chlorine is balanced, but oxygen is not balanced. Here you have more number 3, here you have only 2. So what we do is that we swap the numbers to multiply. So here you can multiply this by 2 in order to make it 6. Here you can multiply by 3 in order to make it 6. So where you find oxygen, you can multiply by 3 to make it 6. Here you can multiply by 2 to make it 6. So now this oxygen is balanced, but potassium changes here to K. So you put 2K here. So potassium is 2 now, right side also it's 2. Chlorine is automatically balanced here, 2 chlorine, 2 chlorine. So the complete balanced equation is this one. Another example, little bit complicated I can give you. AlBr3 plus K2SO4 gives KBr plus Al2SO4 thrice. If you're getting such bigger complicated equations, you always go and balance first the compound which is having more number of atoms and more complicated ions. More complicated compound you have to select among these. So here we can say aluminum sulfate. Aluminum sulfate at the product side is more complicated, so let's balance it first. Here you have aluminum left side 1, bromine 3. Here aluminum right side 2, bromine 1. Potassium 2 atoms right side, potassium 1 atom. Sulfur 1 atom left side, sulfur 3. Oxygen 4 here, oxygen is 12 here. This number has to be multiplied in the bracket. So now how are we going to balance it? Here let's focus on this because this is more complicated. 2 aluminum is in the right side, so we need to make this also by 2, so multiply by 2. So where you can find aluminum, put there 2. Now aluminum is balanced. So when I balanced aluminum, the bromine has changed here. And bromine is 3 here, bromine is 1 here. Now when I put this 2, this became bromine 6. So we need to make the bromine also 6 this side, so put here 6. So this also we multiply by 6 and make that equal. Now when I put here bromine 6, potassium also became 6 here. So we have to make this potassium multiply by 3 to make it 6. Here also we multiply by 6. So here you put 3 here so that this became balanced. Now we can check it. Sulfur. Sulfur, this became here 3. This also now became 3. This 3 is applicable for sulfur, oxygen and potassium. Now if you at the last you can look at oxygen. Oxygen here is 12. Now here oxygen 4 is there already. You multiply by 3. So that also became now 12. So when you check at the equation is now completely balanced. This is how to balance any complex equations also. Now, next we will see some of the examples where you get the word equations and you have to convert that to the simple equation. So let's see that one also here. Word equations, convert to simple equation. Balanced chemical symbol equation we are going to form. For example, aluminum bromide reacts with chlorine gas to form aluminum chloride and bromine gas. If this is a question, at first you have to frame the formulas of each compound. Aluminum bromide, as we know, it's Al Br3 plus chlorine gas, so it's Cl2. Aluminum chloride, AlCl3 plus bromine gas, Br2. Next, we have to balance this. So as I said earlier, here you have 1 aluminum. Here also you have 1 aluminum. Bromine, here you have 3. Bromine, here you have 2. Chlorine, you have 2 here. Chlorine, you have 3 here. In such case, aluminum is balanced. But you can notice here, bromine is 3 and bromine is 2. So what we can do is that we have to swap these. You multiply this by 2, you multiply this by 3. So wherever you see here bromine, you multiply this by 2. And here you multiply this by 3. So that this 2 became 6. Now when you look at chlorine, also the same thing. You have to multiply this by 3 in order to make it 6. You multiply this by 2 in order to make it 6. So here you multiply by 3 and here you multiply by 2. Now the equation is balanced. So if you are getting the word equation, first step you convert into chemical equation, then do the balancing. I'll give you one more example. Sodium phosphate plus calcium chloride gives sodium chloride plus calcium phosphate. So in this case, first you have to write down the formula. Sodium phosphate Na3CO4 plus calcium chloride CaCl2 gives you sodium chloride NaCl plus calcium phosphate Ca3PO4 twice. In this equation also, let's check the numbers. Sodium, this is reactant side, this is product side. Sodium is 3, here sodium is 1. Phosphorus is 1, phosphorus is 2. Oxygen is 4, oxygen is 8. Calcium is 1, calcium is 3. So these are the elements, so we are going to balance it. First of all, let's focus on more complicated one, that is this one here, calcium phosphate. And you can notice here there is 3 calcium here, only 1 calcium. So it's very easy to multiply just by 3 at the left side. So I'm going to put here 3 CaCl2 in order to make it balanced. So right now I put here CaCl2, so you can notice here, now the chlorine became 6 here. Sorry, I didn't write chlorine. Chlorine, earlier it was 2. This product side, chlorine is 1. So now it became 6. This also we can multiply by 6 in order to make that also 6. So I put here 6 in front of sodium chloride. So that chlorine is balanced now. Now you can notice here, sodium became 6 here. We multiplied by 6 and made it 6. But earlier the reactant side, sodium is 3 only. So we multiply that by 2. So you put 2 here in front of sodium phosphate. So now sodium also balanced, chlorine balanced, calcium balanced. Now we can check at the remaining things. What is remaining? Oxygen. Oxygen here, 4 times 2 is 8. Now this has also become 8. This 2 multiplied by 4 has become 8. So this also become 8. Now the entire equation is balanced. This is how to balance any complex equations when you are getting a word equation also. I will give one question. You can practice it later. Calcium hydroxide plus phosphoric acid, which is hydrogen phosphate. Phosphoric acid gives calcium phosphate and water. Please answer this question as a part of the review. Thank you so much.